Separated by cosmic cabinets once again, Brandon Miracle, Logan Wellover, Paul Anderson are broadcasting Nintendo Stuff Live using their telepathic powers. I'm Brandon Miracle broadcasting from Break Room Arcade. If you look south of me in the video version, you'll see Paul Anderson broadcasting from... Where do you broadcast from again? What is your place? Amiibo Factory. Perfect. And then Logan is broadcasting from Green City. Greenland. So there's like definitely something wrong with my shock mount because it just like leans now. Yeah, it just doesn't stand up straight, so I'm like, it's probably not a bad idea. Actually, can we even hear you guys? I don't know if we can.
Me, the important thing is they can see me, and I look fabulous.
Yeah, they definitely can't hear you, but they can hear you now, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, cool.
Perfect. Sorry about that, people. I didn't even see Sandman's comment. I just figured that out.
That's great. You know, it doesn't even matter like how many times we do this. Like sometimes like these things just like they happen.
This is the first time we've done the podcast with the audio interface remotely, so I didn't have it set yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll just go ahead and re-rack, as we say in the TV business.
Wow.
Separated by cosmic cabinets, Brandon, Paul, and Logan are broadcasting Nintendo Stuff Live using their telepathic powers. My name is Brandon Miracle, broadcasting live from the Break Room Arcade. If you look south of me in the video version, you'll see Paul Anderson broadcasting live from the Amiibo Factory. And if you look to the right of me in the video version, you'll see Logan Welliver praying to his god.
Who knows what that god is, but whatever it is, thank you.
That's why I said his god. Hey, what's up, guys? Conman, Sandman in the chat, and Santi a little bit earlier. How you guys all doing? I know last week we did a pretty cool special episode where we all together on that new table behind me.
Good times.
Yeah, we'll get to use that again someday.
We should use it today.
Well, I meant for the podcast.
You're right.
But for now, break time's over. No, we're separated once again until we come up with a different solution.
You know, we should make sure that like one of these podcasts ends up on April 1st, and then just pull something like that. Nobody's actually gonna remember it because nobody's gonna clip this and be like, okay, this is what they're gonna pull for April Fool's Day next year. But just an idea, putting it out there.
Intro and then just straight cut the show.
Yeah. That's the show, guys.
And we out. See you next week.
The world's shortest podcast.
So we got both a lot and a little to talk about today. The biggest piece of news, and smart on Nintendo's part, they didn't contest it with anything else, and that's Smash 3.0, which just kind of dropped. Logan, you and I were just kind of hanging around on the old Discord when Conman came in and said this is not a drill and posted that 15-minute content approaching trailer from Nintendo.
Nope.
And then we all sat down and we watched Joker finally get completely unveiled.
Yeah.
And it was a great time.
I had to wait like 10 hours to actually like watch it. And it was the worst 10 hours of my life because I knew the content of it, but I didn't get to see it.
Yeah, I'm also doubly glad that it dropped when it did, because could you imagine the podcast?
Oh yeah,
if it hadn't been released,
It would have been the April Fool's episode. It's like, hey, there's no news this week. Bye, guys.
Like,
we would have legitimately
guys.
just had to end the show because there's nothing to talk about.
It's almost like Nintendo was like, hey guys, no, nothing else, just just Smash, just Joker. Nothing. No, you can't do anything. You can't say anything. You can't talk about your product. I mean,
You
a
can
little
drop
bit
your game
about
if
like.
you want to, but it's definitely going to be overshadowed by Joker.
I mean,
so
the
just
biggest
don't do it to yourself.
contested stuff isn't even like Nintendo related, you know, like
I
the
think-
PS5 being talked about, you know, in an
Well, like,
official manner.
Even in specifically in the Nintendo space, I think the only big thing that happened was Cuphead got released 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that was the thing that happened.
Also,
And,
Cuphead released when the eShop became a firestorm.
That was a good timing on their
yeah.
part.
So I mean, the only difference between this version of Cuphead and the one originally released, because there was like more animations in this one.
They added some like cutscene animation.
Yeah. Okay. And then that got added to the other versions of the game too. So like, I mean, hooray for Cuphead. I mean, I don't think I'll ever play it because I know it's just like, oh guys, this is a really hard game, and I'm like, I'll play other games then.
It's not like a kick your butt style Dark Souls type game. It is hard, but the opportunity to just restart the match and fight again, because they're just boss battles. Like you pick the level and you're immediately at the boss fight.
Right.
It's a very rewarding experience that doesn't feel too punishing, at least in my experience, because I played it on PC.
Right. Well, we'll see if I get around to it eventually. Man, there's so many games. There's so many games. Like, it's like the biggest issue in my life right now. It's like, no, I can't handle it. You guys need to stop releasing games. I'm going to shut off the internet, stop sharing these, shut down Steam, just stop. Like, we don't need these right now. Like, it's consuming my life. I'm going to go off the grid and finish whatever is available to me off the internet. And then I'll come back into reality once I am finished with all of that.
I feel that so much because, like, I'm at the point where I need a third bookshelf. I have too many games. It needs to stop.
I've stopped buying physical. Like, the only reason I buy physical is if it's like a really good deal and it's only physical. That's the only reason.
My game backlog is so bad right now. I'm still going through Yoshi. I'm still playing Hypnospace. I'm still playing Devil May Cry. I'm still playing Nier Automata, and I haven't even started Sekiro.
Yeah. I mean, that's really the problem with like digital stuff too, is like, man, if I just didn't want to play any of the games, I could either sell them or give them to other people to play, and then I just wouldn't have to deal with them. Like, there's tons of games that I have that I'm like, I'm never going to play this again. I have tons of CDs on my shelf that I'm like, I'm never going to stick those like in a CD player like ever again. Like, it's just old media, you know? There might be some worth to the aesthetic, and that might be desirable for some people. But for me, it's just less and less. It just feels more and more like clutter. So we really need a system of where like, oh, I have all these digital games and I have the keys. I want to relinquish my ownership and just give it to somebody else. You know,
I mean, obviously, the value of physical media is going to increase as time goes on and physical media starts to peter out.
Right.
We did have the Xbox One SAD, I think, is the acronym people.
It was the wasn't it like?
It's the all digital system.
Yeah, X1. Yeah, all digital. Yeah, the Xbox SAD.
So yeah, we're already on the way.
SAD Xbox One.
For physical media being on the way out, and in some respects, it's kind of a scary thought.
Yeah, in some respects. Certainly the idea that, you know, in this future, like technically, like we don't own our Steam games, we just like license them or something like that, like, or lease them. I'm not sure how that exactly works, but like, I think like the current plan for Valve is like, okay, if we ever shut down the service, like you just own those, you know, but you know, there is the possibility it's like, oh, what about streaming? You know, like, because streaming's kind of the future, and it's not, you know, really catching wind right now, but eventually it will. And when that happens, you know, a lot of people are going to kind of abandon that physical media. Not that it will ever completely peter out. I mean, for goodness sake, we bust still buy vinyls, you know, it's just going to be much more niche. But, you know, what happens if they ever take that away? when most people are just streaming and don't own the content they're playing.
If you look at some of the specs that were revealed by Wired for the PlayStation 5, they have that incredibly faster than anything currently available, proprietary solid-state drive that will be running the system. And that says to me that you would get less performance out of buying a game physically than you would out of buying a game digitally and just having it run completely off the solid state. And yeah, as performance leans heavier and better through digital means, there's going to be less of an incentive to own physical because it's just going to be worse.
Yeah, just overall, if you could get a download that's going to boot up like that and play really quickly, like why would you have a physical disc that's going to be
they
slower?
Used such a great example with Spider-Man PS4, the side-by-side comparison they did. With Spider-Man PS4 taking 15 seconds to load the fast travel, like from the cutscene of fast travel to actually appearing in the game. For the PS5 developer kit running off the solid-state drive, it took 0.8 seconds to completely load the game again when the fast travel was over.
Yup.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's night and day. Like, I welcome the technology. I really do. Like, and I hope more people can utilize it and have access to it. But also, like, cost is a big thing, and how is this going to coexist with the PS4? Because I don't think it's going to be like a hard reset like it has been in past generations. It's gradual. It's okay, we're going to start just developing for all three, the PS4, the PS4 Pro, and this other one, this new one. What was that noise?
That's my smoke alarm.
Oh, nice.
Don't die.
But ultimately, I think that's just the way all of these consoles are going, and I think ultimately that's a good thing. Even the flash storage on some of these Nintendo consoles, it drastically improves certain load times, and only increasingly so as we move forward. And that's
remember
why I think
the times when Nintendo used to get pooed on for using flash storage instead of a dedicated hard drive. And no, I think Nintendo was always a little bit ahead of the curve because of that.
Yeah, it also helped that they kept their game files smaller. Some of these larger games take up a lot of space, So sometimes it's easier just to say oh, okay, we're just not going to make something as intensive because also game files are going to be really smaller. And then if my biggest game on my Switch right now is 13 gigabytes, based on a 256 gigabyte micro SD card. I'm not doing too bad. I know there are some larger games that need separate downloads and stuff like that. But
I think we can infer that if PlayStation 5 is coming out in 2020, which seems to be the consensus right now, they did say it's not coming out this year. We know that for a fact.
Right.
If PlayStation 5 is coming out in 2020, that means Nintendo will have adopted the new solid-state type of storage solution sometime in 2035.
I mean, I think it really depends on the cost of these solutions, because if they still keep their games a little bit smaller, who knows how much a 500 gigabyte solid state will cost in a year or two,
And we've already seen prices of those come down drastically in the last couple of years.
Yeah. So I think the real question here is, will Nintendo adopt other things that are exclusive to these other consoles? For example, certain games that everybody is really, really anticipating, especially now that nobody actually knows what a Persona is. They all just call them stands because, I mean, that's essentially what it is, right?
I got to interject here for a second.
Oh, yeah?
I've heard that personas are based off of JoJo stands, not the other way around.
Well, JoJo's certainly older.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've heard that it is influenced by that.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. There's other things like in Bloodborne, like the symbol, like the sigil or whatever.
Comes from Berserk.
Yeah, it's based on Berserk. So I could see the same thing happening.
Anime influencing video games?
Oh my gosh, it's
What?
like that's never happened before.
Content has never inspired more content. It's never happened.
Yeah, books didn't inspire movies, and actual events didn't inspire, oral storytelling.
So some quick housekeeping before we get into the main meat of the show. You should join our Discord server. We do some fun stuff in there. We like to play games together. I mean, it was it was bopping last night. Everyone was in there playing Smash, playing custom stages together and battle arenas. It was really fun. I missed most of that. I got there like at the end when everyone left. But I still had a good time. Playing on DVD was a fun time, specifically. Yeah, so make sure you do that. In addition to that, if you're new here, if you could like this video, subscribe to the channel to find out when we go live next, that'd be awesome.
Share with your friends.
You never want to miss a chance to see Paul's face. Like it's always a treat. It's always worth your time.
And it's getting better and better every day.
Yeah, man. Oh, okay. You're gonna have to calm down there.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure this is a
I'll turn
PG
it
show.
back down, man.
In addition to that, if you really like what we do here and you want to help support the show, you can support us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Or if you're listening to this via your favorite podcast app, there is a link in the show details with a link to our Anchor donation page if you want to help support us that way as well. So plenty of ways to help support the show if you like what we do here. We'll let you pick your poison, I guess. And I guess with that, we should start talking about some Smash 3.0.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fun to be had. I mean, there's this thing. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called a stage creator crafter.
Stage Maker, Super Stage Maker.
Super Stage Maker 2. All right. But the stage builder is great. It's fantastic. The fact that it feels so simple, yet it's really versatile, and then just the potential for artistry that we've seen plastered all over the internet, both good and bad. But the stuff that's really good is really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
I've been going hypnospace on that app, reporting some bad things I've seen.
I mean, it was only a matter of time because I think ultimately, like, people don't want to get online and see some of that stuff, right?
It also interferes with the purpose of the sharing, to share stuff people want to play on.
Right. But I mean, obviously it's been pretty well policed because like it kind of just disappeared. Like for me, like if you don't go looking for it, you're not going to see it.
They kind of cracked down on it pretty hard, and it seems that it's been fixed.
Also, just like the user generated like yaing stuff, and all the ones that have the most yaws are right at the top, and those are going to be the ones that are really well crafted and very aesthetically pleasing. Like there was the N64 like desk,
That's
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had so much fun playing on that.
Yeah, it's really simple, but like it functions really well, and man, it hits you in the heartstrings, man.
And then there's funnier stages like the DVD symbol where it bounces.
Yeah, that was a good one. So, I mean, you guys have probably seen it, right? It's just a big black background and then this wonderfully crafted DVD logo just bouncing around the screen. That one had a few aspects about it because they're always like a little bit janky. Like there's always something just a little bit off. But the fact that they are as good as they are, these stages, at this point is kind of impressive to me. We had this discussion a little bit last night on well, what happens if you take a stage and you change it? Can you re-upload it? Because I'm like a fan of that idea. I'm not a fan of necessarily taking credit for somebody else's work, but I like the freedom to say like, hey guys, I remixed this stage. Here it is again with a few like tweaks or maybe some more major changes. And I thought that these really added something,
It's like
to this equation.
that Bob on Battlefield stage that was super cool, but it's slightly broken because of the cannons.
I
Yeah.
love that. I loved the first time I got in the cannon and immediately like went under the stage and died. I laughed so hard.
I think what that stage really needs is some more space. Like just spread everything out just a little bit more. And then it would probably function a lot better. Also, maybe think about like where those
the fix for the cannons was that they were just too low into the ground.
Oh, and then they glitched out, and
yeah.
The guy re-uploaded it and fixed it already.
Oh, really?
Yeah. All he had to do was move the cannons up slightly so that when you went down, you didn't end up underneath the platform.
See, now my other thing, just like add on top of that, not like something that's wrong with it, but something that could be improved. Like actually make it so the cannons
rotate,
like going back and rotate like back and forth so that shooting up different ways. Maybe that might just be a remix. Maybe that's not desirable. Maybe it's more desirable just have them kind of aimed in on the stage towards the island, but I don't know. That might be an interesting thing. But this is the kind of thing that I'm like, I hope this happens. I hope people can take it and they can recreate it. But I wish they could just skip inside. Like, here's the template that we've already created. And I expressed also last night, like, what if they had like sub stages? So you had the main stage from the main creator, and then any remixes, you would have to go into a sub menu under that specific one. So that way, it's like, okay, these are remixes of these original stages.
And then any Yaz that go on that would go towards the main stage, but you would have the ability to follow the people who fixed it or remixed it.
Yeah, and then those would have like a separate like order to them. Like this one has the most Yaz because it's the best remix or best fix or something like that. And maybe it gets adopted into the top one. I don't know. Like that would seem like the most logical way to do it for me. But that seems like a step too far for Nintendo to actually be like, oh, maybe we should like encourage creativity in this way.
That at the same time, like the stage builder we got is way more than I thought we were ever going to get.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean,
it makes total sense that this wasn't here at launch.
Yeah. And I think I think that's true with other modes as well. And I think this getting released is just a, also saying like, oh yeah, we're also getting other things down the line, which I kind of anticipated, but it's nice to finally get confirmation of like, yeah, this is an actual thing that is happening. Like we're doing post launch content that's, free. And then obviously outside of that, the paid content as well.
We need to pat ourselves on the back a little bit, guys. Last week when we did the show live together, when we were talking about Stage Builder, we specifically asked if we would be able to draw the stages as well as place individual blocks like Brawl, like with a toggable grid. And guess what we got? Exactly that.
That's what we got. I mean, and kind of in retrospect, it didn't feel like that like significant of a thing, especially since like we kind of accurately predicted what was going to happen with like the arena mode with the online stuff as well. That one felt more like, oh, we didn't anticipate Nintendo actually do something we'd want. This one's a little bit more like, okay, we're doing the stage builder and we want to do the stage builder, like giving people options and control over the creativity. And then obviously having like experience doing this kind of thing outside of Smash Bros with like Super Mario Maker. Definitely, I would be very surprised if that didn't inform the process in crafting, this stage builder here.
Well, I think they kind of need to take that step with like the grid in particular for this experience, because the last time they did it, only like freehand drawing things made sense when you had a gamepad. In this case, though, like I've never played Smash Brothers in handheld. I don't anticipate ever playing Smash Brothers in handheld. And so I don't have the screen. I can't just draw it. And I don't really want to use a controller to try and like draw things. I'd rather like have some semblance of, order.
You
It was
know,
kind
and
of
that's the
interesting. I took my Switch out to create Weenie 2. Because I
Please put
wanted
the
to,
ID in the description
I-
for that. Let
I'll-
everybody
I'll-
download it.
I'll post Weenie in the Discord later today. But yeah, I never anticipated I would actually take my Switch out to hand draw something, but I did. I took my Switch out, I drew up Weenie 2, and the control setup, while a little confusing at first, once you get it down, it's fairly intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can double tap on things to get more options for stuff. Like you said, you can freehand. If you turn the grid on, there's like a snap to function. So as you draw, the lines just snap to the grid lines as you go to make everything square.
right.
It's really well built. For those of you in the chat who did not know there was a grid, if you open the layers menu, at the very bottom of the layers menu, there is a grid button that you can check. If you check it on, the grid will show up and the snap to feature will be turned on as well. It'll help you out a lot.
I really need to like play around more with the stage builder. I jumped in there for a few seconds just to see like what options they had.
Yeah,
And
most.
I ended up like making
Yeah.
a really fun stage on accident because I just picked cannons and I started like throwing them around randomly, and then I just put a square, and then I went to like test it, and like I had a blast just like flying from cannon to cannon for no reason.
And they
I mean,
added
that's kind of-
portals.
Yeah. Well, here's one of the things because I kind of echo that statement, Paul, because like one of the first things I did was I got into the stage builder. I chose like the largest play area. I drew a large box, right? A hollow box with a small opening at the top, right? And then
You've never made this stage before, have you?
I've never made this stage before. And then I went into Smash. I went into Special Smash 300%, put myself in there with an enemy, and then essentially just played Pong. Like it's like so much fun. Like there's no purpose to it. Like you might get into the 600s or 700s before somebody accidentally actually hits you outside of the hole. But then even then, I put like another block that moved back and closing in the hole, so like you couldn't even get out all the time. Like you would have to wait for that to come back.
Speaking of portals, I kind of want to recreate that like opening area from Portal in the stage builder
Oh, yeah.
because we can do that now. We
We're,
can make other games in Smash.
And a lot of people have been doing that too. Just before we started the show, I saw a great recreation of Spiral Mountain from Banjo-Kazooie, complete with a grunty mountainside and bridge. Just really impressive stuff that we've been seeing from folks. And that's exactly what I wanted out of this, with the sharing feature, was just to see what people could come up with. And so far, I've been very impressed.
Yeah, that's been one of my favorite things. It's not really actually creating myself because I'm lazy, but to actually like, oh, look at all these other people's hard work that I get to enjoy. You know,
Though if you do
'cause,
sit
man,
down,
some people.
if you do sit down and try and build a stage, you do kind of get into it. I remember having this experience with Mario
Oh,
Maker.
right. I
did
think
we
I'll
need-
just have
did-
to. I'll have to find some sort of inspiration. You know, there's already recreations of like pokey floats and stuff like that. So we'll have to see what I can cook up.
So what you're telling me is that making Weenie 2 like really spoke to your soul. It
I-
awakened this like
I
creative fire
spent
inside you.
Way longer working on Weenie 2 than I ever thought I would. I was sitting there making adjustments, changing the sizes of things. I was getting into it. That's just a sign of a great tool.
The love you put into it really showed because I played a match on it last night, and that giant like 2 in the foreground like just kept messing me up. It's so distracting, and I love it.
I've had the idea, like, ever since the stage builder got fully revealed. I'd been thinking about how to make Weenie 2 better. And then I came up with that, and I was like, I can't wait to enact this. It's so funny, too, because, like, there's some physics-based elements in the stage builder. Like, if you have rotating objects, they can collide and get stuck on one another.
Oh,
Because they're physical mass. And you know how, like, you have different textures for the blocks you can create? I think there's, like, 12. Did you know that there's a gravity function for platforms?
I didn't.
If you turn the gravity function on, the platform will be, it'll be affected by gravity, so it'll fall. The different textures have different weights and fall at different speeds. And some of them bounce.
Shut up, man. Just stop.
They
Please
bounce.
You're blowing my mind, man. Stop.
Wait, do they all bounce?
They all bounce, but some bounce higher than others, like the rubber.
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
Yeah, I saw a video of it on Twitter, and I just had my mind completely, like, split in half.
Yeah. Well, even on, like, that Bob on Blast stage for N64, right?
Oh,
that
there's
recreation.
the little balls that fall down?
Yeah, the little ball that keeps respawning and then falling down. Like, they kind of nailed it.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder what kind of other, like, features they'll add to the stage builder. Even, like, cosmetic, changes. Like, imagine if you're able to change just the texture and the weight or the density, like, independently,
And the color,
So,
please.
Yep.
The thing I actually want the most, like, to be added in, two things. I would really like the cannon from that one Donkey Kong stage that, like, shoots you into the foreground and background. I'd love having those different layers if you could actually interact with them. But I'd also like breakable targets. I'd love to let people just, like, make custom break the target stages.
I have seen a break the target stage already. They use the bomb blocks, which if you hit them, they blow up.
Whoa.
So the function's in there already.
That never occurred to me. They could just create a set, maybe even, like, this could justify just doing maybe more of what they did in Super Smash Brothers Brawl, even though I would love to see, like, unique target smash stages for every character. That's also a lot of work, and who knows.
Well,
but the idea that you could create custom ones would be, like, a huge, like,
you take the character specific ones and you let the fans make them.
Yeah, and then you have a leaderboard. You have a leaderboard for that specific thing. Like, and essentially it just becomes Super Mario Maker, except for all the modes in Smash Bros.
There are some functions that I would like to see added as well, such as a copy-paste feature. Because, like, if I make a shape and I want a symmetrical version of it, I have to just freehand it and hope I get it right.
Yeah, when you have, like, 2, 3 E's in Weenie?
Yeah. I had to draw every E individually.
Was that... I nailed that, didn't I? That's exactly what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. There was 3 E's in Weenie, but Weenie is spelled twice on there.
Oh, yeah.
There's,
That's
like, all the letters rotating in the background.
Yeah, you're going to have to send me this, like, ASAP.
Josiah was very impressed with Weenie, too. I was quite happy. It lives up to its name. We spent a lot of time talking about Stage Builder, but that's not the only thing we got in Smash 3.0. There's something that I haven't touched yet. Video editor.
Smash World. Oh.
I have seen some funny videos uploaded to Smash World via the video editor. Logan, you look like you've got something to say.
I briefly dipped into some of the more popular edits on there, and there are certainly some interesting results. I tried to, like, there's, like, the share feature. They're like, I'm gonna share this to Twitter, share this video, because I thought it was kind of partially funny and partially like, whatever, we need to shut this down. Like, no, guys, this can't happen anymore. Like, people thought, like, some of the illicit stages were bad. Like, I felt like on a deeper philosophical level, some of these edits just felt so desperate. And it made me feel really empty inside. And I was like, okay, this needs to end. We can't have this anymore. You guys, if this is what actually, the straw that broke the camel's back, Nintendo, shut it down.
I was a little surprised by how all of it worked. like when you upload a video, it gets uploaded to like a hidden Super Smash Brothers YouTube channel, or it goes to the Smash YouTube channel as a hidden video, with just a name that's just a random string of letters and numbers. So you don't even upload it to your own channel; it gets uploaded to a contained space, so that Nintendo can, I guess, moderate it, which I think is kind of a good idea.
I guess so, but again, it's not really that big of a deal because if you really wanted it and you didn't have a capture card or anything like that, there's ways to download that video and upload it to your own channel.
Well, you could just take your SD card out, put it in your computer, and then upload it directly to your channel.
Right.
The future is now.
But I like the way that they've formatted the sharing function for that specifically.
Yeah. It's pretty nutty. We'll see if it gets less sad or desperate later on, because it didn't take me like long to recognize that there was like a pattern. Like, these are very bored children, teenagers, adults, who have decided that they're gonna make this particular thing and spend time doing it. So I think it's really a call for help.
And then lastly, obviously, we should be talking about Joker.
Persona 5 music is so good.
Yeah,
I'm really glad
is.
it's in Smash Bros. So I can't talk about like Persona being like represented in Smash without talking about the music.
I think that's the big thing for everybody.
Joker's just a side note. Like, we got the music. That's the important thing.
I have to admit, I haven't played a ton of Joker. I've played Joker for a handful of matches. I gotten kind of the feel, but ultimately I was drawn away because you guys are missing like the single greatest piece of content that was released.
Me costumes.
He's gonna say Knuckles. Caught you, red-handed,
it's
or white-gloved.
Knuckles. That's been released. It's the best thing. I can now be Knuckles.
That is one of the ugliest me costumes I have ever seen.
But now, like, the logo can read Super Smash Bros. Ultimate
and Knuckles.
Someone please make that into a custom. Logan, there's your custom stage. Just the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate
and Knuckles. I'm just gonna be and Knuckles. That's it. It's just gonna be that text. Look forward to hearing more from me.
But going back to Joker, like Paul said, I think the music is like the big staple of Persona as a series, and it's represented pretty well here. We've got 11 tracks across 3 games. Last Surprise is in there, which is not a surprise to anybody. The battle theme.
Never saw it coming.
Yeah, I never saw that coming. I love that song, so
really
I'm glad that's in there. What really surprised me, though, is that the Persona 3 and Persona 4 music actually changed Mementos, the stage.
That was a really nice touch. It's such like a small detail, but like it's something that continually like changes the experience of fighting on the stage.
Because they just had different colors, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's different shapes and symbols on Mementos as well, depending on which color it is.
Right.
To better represent the game that it came from. But it's all really cool. And it's so strange to have that something that's like confined to just a single stage. And if Joker wins on that stage, if the stage is yellow, his victory screen is yellow. If it's blue, his victory screen's blue.
There's so many like small details with that stage and like Joker, like so much love went into the Persona content, and I love that.
Joker got so much special treatment. It's almost not fair to the
He
rest of the
deserved it. Okay, he deserves it. Persona's a great game.
Actually, I've never heard of this Persona game. Would you guys tell me more? I've heard I've heard only rumors that it's like a really bad game. Like
it's an anime game for weebs. You wouldn't like it.
It's just littered with weeb references. It has really poor taste in music. The men look really effeminate, and I don't necessarily have an objection to that, but I know some people do.
And you also don't like
just all
cooking
these-
anime.
Yeah. Don't cook anime, and don't have stands. Don't have spirits tied to your body. That's just a bad idea. They cause a lot of ruckus. You'd know this. You'd know this if you had watched JoJo, but obviously you're just an ignorant.
You know what? It's
Persona,
kind of, it should have been obvious that
weeb.
Joker was coming to Smash, because the entire single player mode was based off of the concept of personas and stands. Just the whole thing. Like you attach
you
a
can't-
spirit to
if
your
you
body
play-
and you get their power.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't played the spirit board for Joker, you have to play as Joker, and also you can't change your spirit. It's just his persona. I'm obviously lying, but that's kind of the thing we're going for here. Also, the spirit board for Joker, not that hard, except for the very last one, the big legendary, which was very difficult.
I think it was pretty cool that Joker got his own spirit board. Well, it's the DLC spirit board, but when you
Yeah.
there's a set number of spirits, you can fight them as many times as you want, and then you don't have to do the little shooting mini game at the end to actually claim the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that whole setup. I thought that was pretty cool. So because of it, I steamrolled through the whole thing, and you did too. You did it on stream, actually.
Yeah, it was pretty easy peasy for the most part, but then I got really frustrated at the end there. And you can go back and watch that if you want, because it's a good time. Also, but also don't just go play Joker and go play it yourself. So,
So going back to Joker as a character specifically, I've seen a video floating around Twitter where people side by side had his moveset with characters from Smash Brothers, and there's like 8 of his normal attacks that are borrowed from other characters.
kind of
Animation
like
and all.
retranslated.
Yeah, so like his up air is Samus's up air, his side smash is Falco's side smash, and like it's pretty blatant, but the properties on the attacks are very different compared to the rest of the cast. I think
Right.
even his dash attack is just Zero Suit Samus's forward smash.
I'm not even like upset by that because I mean, all around, like the few times I've played as him, I've had just so much fun with him.
Yeah, there's a lot of strategy that goes into actually activating Arsene, especially using that down B. Because Logan, you started commenting when I was using him, saying like, I never thought about just using the down B to just not take knockback damage.
Oh yeah, like it's like it's not just that you're taking half the damage of the attack and building up that meter. It's also like, oh, am I gonna die in this moment? Okay, down B.
Yeah, like I think I used it on a couple of Bowser's like big attacks, like his down B, his side smash, and I just like strong arm the entire attack and I don't get flown away from it. So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. It's actually kind of interesting because it gives Joker a different kind of advantage when he doesn't have Arsene out. So like you could just take a hit and, you know, not suffer knockback from it, but you can
Yeah.
only do that when Arsene isn't out.
Right. When you do, it's like a reflection, but like also it doesn't reflect everything.
Mm.
It also acts as a normal counter, but in that case, you can't hold it, because you can hold it for like 3 or 4 seconds as Joker, but as Arsene,
no,
it's just like
fun.
you get one chance.
It's a little more touchy from what I've felt. Though there's probably those who have a difference of opinion and probably have played a lot more of Joker than I have at this point.
One of my favorite clips of Joker I've seen so far, I saw earlier today. They were playing with items on, and Joker got like knocked off the stage. And I can't remember like if the Dragoon piece spawned in the middle of the air or if it got knocked out of the other player, but it flew off the stage and started falling down. Joker used his up B to grapple the ledge. It grabbed the Dragoon piece, and that was the last one he needed. So he grabbed it, just got the Dragoon, and then took off the last stock of the other player.
Good.
Yeah,
I love the grapple for no reason.
it's so funny, like when you just strong arm somebody out of the air and just ruin their
Nope.
whole day. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Get over here.
And then when you have Arsene out, that changes to what is it, like Wings of Rebellion?
Mhm.
And what's cool about that is when he uses Wings of Rebellion, he's completely invulnerable. You can't hit him. So he gets a free recovery.
That's a nice touch.
Yeah. I think Arsene lasts about 30 seconds. I think it takes 3 minutes to charge if you don't do any attacks or take any damage. And it takes 30% of absorbed damage in order to activate Arsene from using the down B.
Right.
So I remember one time when you were Ganondorf, Arsene had just disappeared, and I like took a forward smash from you, and my bar went all the way back up, and only needed like one more hit to get him again.
Yeah, and that probably you didn't even need to use the down B. What is that move called?
I forget. Rebellion stance or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. I don't
Rebellion
know.
something or other. Rebellion guard?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
But yeah, I think Joker's design's pretty cool. Obviously, like we mentioned before, he gets a lot of special treatment. I can hear Logan
deserves
typing in
it.
the background.
Yeah, I'm looking up information.
He's actually purchasing Persona 5 right now.
No.
Well, we're supposed to find out.
You're making mistakes then.
It's either the
No.
24th or the 25th that they're announcing something new for Persona 5. Persona 5S, which we all assume is Persona 5 Switch.
I really hope so, because I want to play it again. I don't know why I want to play it again, because it was such a chore the first time, but I love it so much that I want more.
And I want to play it not on a PS3.
That's fair. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I've kind of just put it off indefinitely until it just lands on the Switch.
I hope it's Persona 5 the Royal and not just a port of the original version.
Oh, right.
I hear a lot of typing now.
Sorry, I have to wish my roommate a happy birthday. My old roommate.
Just start.
I almost forgot.
chucking
I was gonna do it like
glasses
first thing when I woke up this
pounding
morning.
on things and playing instruments, and I'm just gonna make this a noisy background
I've heard
podcast.
pens clacking. I've heard keyboards clacking.
I really wish that keyboards were soundboards rather than just making it clack. You could make it make different noises.
I mean, you can make a soundboard. I should bring that back. I was actually thinking about that earlier. And
Soundboard.
Yeah, we
doing
only
the
used it like
soundboard.
once.
Yeah, because I think it was a real big pain to actually get set up, and then, but I think we need to keep it going and sample some other things because
They
there's
added
other
a
things like.
They added a soundboard function to the Stream Deck.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. The problem is I only have 6 buttons, so probably not going to use that.
Just get 2 or 3 more of those.
I was gonna say you could just nest it, nest all the sounds, and then have 6 different folders of different types of sounds for different
I know, it's
things.
just I've got so much nesting going on in this thing already. It's kind of a pain to navigate.
I'm telling you, just get
Well,
2, 3 other
do you
ones.
have to reserve a button to go back,
Yeah.
other than obviously on the Surface? That's funny.
So, if I had one button to go back and a button that's another folder, I'd only have 4 keys per folder that I could actually assign to things. But if I buy the full version, I think there's, 18 keys on it
Yeah.
at one time?
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be much better.
That one would be a lot better. 'Cause you wouldn't have to nest so many times.
Well, I think that's going to do it for the Nintendo Stuff podcast this week. Like we said, there
Yeah,
wasn't
I
a ton
mean-
to talk about.
I'm trying to think because I think the only other thing that really happened this week that would even be worth noting is the fact that Labo VR released, but everybody knows that. And honestly, there's nothing we can say about it because we haven't played it.
Yeah.
I'd have
So,
more to say
I mean-
about it maybe once the Zelda and Mario content gets released.
Doesn't that drop on the 25th?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be the day that I'm oh, okay, I'm gonna go drop $40 on Labo VR. Just at least to get that experience in me.
Yeah, so we might have some of that to talk about next week. There might be a
It's gonna be
Nintendo
so
Direct
dumb.
between now and then. You know, we were all expecting a Nintendo Direct for Joker. Well, not specifically for Joker, but just in general because of that Best Buy leak that happened.
Yeah,
And it never ended up happening, at least in the
yeah.
time
I feel
period.
like I feel
Yeah.
like this is Nintendo spitting in the face of everybody's like, oh, there's information to talk about, which means there's a direct, and they're like, not really.
No, they're changing
man.
their strategy a little bit on how they tell us stuff, and I think
Yeah.
that's been good.
With Super like Ultimate, it's like, okay, just make it its own thing, guys, because people will just be upset if it's like just thrown in with something else and it's not what they expect. No, just give them what they want, just the Smash Bros stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely the better call. But
Yeah.
with that, guys, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Break Room Arcade, if you want to find out when we go live next. We do Nintendo stuff every Saturday morning between 11 and 1 p.m. Central Time. That's
Drunk
just,
boys need sleep.
we're going to figure that out as we go. And then,
Yeah, screw hard like times. Just like we'll give you a window.
Wake up Saturday and we'll be around.
Okay, guys, it's time.
so with all that in mind, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you liked what you saw here. If you want to help support the channel, you can find a link to our Patreon. You can donate as little as $1 a month. That really helps us out. In addition to that, you can find us on your favorite podcast app, literally anyone. We're on all of them. We're on Spotify now, too. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, anywhere you want to listen to us, you can
We're
find us there.
everywhere.
Thank you to the first person who favorited our podcast on Anchor. I got a notification for that this morning.
Aw.
And we're actually rated on Apple Podcasts now, guys.
Whoa!
Nice.
We're
nice.
5 stars.
Look at us go.
Of course. Why would it be anything else? What sort of vindictive individual would go on there and be like, they only deserve a 4? That's even worse than saying like, this sucks, it's a 1. You know, it's like that person is like 4.
So
See you.
stay clocked into the Break Room Arcade to find out what we're doing over the next week. We got some videos coming out for you as well, some Break Room breakfasts. And we will see you next time. So don't break your backs, break in the games. But for now, break time's over.